think we can. I believe in us.
I believe in us.
I appreciate you, dog.
But the thing about this here is, look, I think everyone says this is IceBox, this is Guard's pick. TSM have been great in this map.
Oh, 100%.
From just their qualification period, this has been kind of like their bread and butter in a way, even beating 100 Thieves here on this map throughout their open qualifier #1 run in double overtime. So
yeah, I mean, they have a
it's not like they're just...
They have a 16-3 record for the year. So, I mean,
yeah,
they are definitely no slouches on this map. And their first 2 losses, their first 2 games with their core 3. So, yeah, definitely common ground as far as map comfort. But yeah, definitely new compositions coming into this. Double controller being strayed away from by the Guard. Bringing in that Killjoy, like Bach was saying, kind of an older comp from them in the past. And then TSM also, you know, moving away from 7 on Jet, putting him on Sage. We are going to see the Guard coming in here for the spike plant at top of the site.
And not only do they get in, they actually avoid all of the defensive utility from Rossi. So it's just a recon bolt to get them back into the mix with a paranoia from Guamond. You need to be very calculative about how you want to hit this because there's still a ton of counter utility as well for the Guard's post-plant setup. They get first blood, no problem. Valen takes the second, and oh boy.
Okay.
All right, so that's now 2 pistols for the Guard. They've doubled up on what they had total for the first 2 weeks, and not bad. Get them started.
Yeah, pretty confident little A take there. You know, we've been seeing this a lot with the Sage barrier up top and the plant behind it. It's been kind of the main way to plant on this site for some time now, and the Guard goes through that type of rollout and then just destroys any hopes at a retake there from TSM, and now they'll be able to come in. Marshall, Vandal for Jonah P right away. So trying to get themselves a little bit of added firepower in the next round on the bonus. TSM double facing long B right now, though.
You gotta think the thing about this, if the Guard can be convincing here in the second round, this full purchase, quote-unquote, for TSM may not be that much of a full purchase. Oh, great shock darts coming through. Valen able to take the second elimination, and oh my goodness, the Guard are just running him down. 3 straight kills easy, and it's just up to 7 in Guamond, and even though GMD is in a position maybe to flank, he's going to be kept held by this this utility from net.
Yep. Yeah, he's going to reroute back over here, but that's just right into the awaiting arms of Staya player who will give them the hug of death. And it might be another flawless coming up here. Nah, never mind. 7 ensures that won't be the case. Getting 1 with the Sheriff there on the Staya player, but Trent quickly mops it back up. So a quick 2-0 here for the Guard. They maintain the Vandal as well, and they'll rebuy 1 for Staya player. So a much more heavy-handed bonus here for the Guard.
Well, especially considering the TSM can't afford full armor if they want to get utility. This is going to feel like an even round for TSM, for the Guard rather, I should say. Even though you've got a couple SMGs in play, I mean, this light armor is not anything to just sniff away from.
Yeah, this is a lot more firepower than a traditional bonus. It's the Guard looking to put some early pressure here at middle, but also putting the personnel at A and catching the push of Subrosa. A nice little feint at middle, and then waiting for that push A and collecting. Corey, nice kill there on the Staya player. Catches him dashing into sight. They're slowing this attack down now all of a sudden. Pushing them back.
Staya player not being forward, you can't really commit through.
Nope.
Too much help on site. You needed to have him in that position. So now everything kind of comes to a calm. But for TSM, they've got a really good read on this because you're double stacked through mid. You know there's not a rotation to be. And all of a sudden, the defense has really come to life. They've got themselves a 4v3 situation.
Yeah, I mean, Rossi taking a big duel there against Jonah P. That could have been the Guard's way back in if Jonah P wins that fight. But as it stands, the Guard a man down. They still have their heavier weapons in play with the 2 rifles on Valen and Trent, but you know, they're having to be a lot more cautious about how they approach this site, which they will get. TSM willing to just kind of gather up and play retake if need be here out in middle. As the spike will make its way in.
30 seconds left.
Net will be able to place it. Valen still has snake lights available for post plant in the backside, as well as Net being able to drop the Killjoy utility right on top of the spike. So if they can stay alive, they can still make this tough. Yeah.
The biggest thing about it is TSM's going to deny any ability for the Guard to back up to use that utility because of this flank. Of course, the sentry turret will scout this, and the Guard will actually reposition. They're going to start making their way a little bit further forward on towards where the defenders could be coming from the front. Now they're kind of in a weird spot between a rock and a hard place, but Valen makes it work out okay initially, but eventually overwhelmed, as I think just about everyone in the lobby had predicted.
Yeah, it's really nice that TSM did not allow them Sanctuary to play their post-plant utility. We know how powerful chaining that utility can be on a site once you have Spike down, if you can get to the back side of it, but Gamon's flank ensured that could never happen. It forced the guards very murky waters, having to play center site. They just try to fight through. And like you said, Valorant had a couple there, you know, maybe could have broke away from that, but doesn't quite happen. But they do come into this with a couple of ults now, the only 2 ults at the table. Gonna be Saya player with Bladestorm and Valorant with that Viper's Pit to drop down onto a site for post-plant. So definitely some big barriers out there that TSM are gonna have to break through to try to win this round.
Yeah.
Especially coming into this with 2 Bulldogs.
Absolutely that. Saya player, good look over the top of mid-tube. Largely, Seven still fine to hold his position on the close corner. Barrier broken. Aldrone will not see too much. And the curiosity will be, how does TSM want to play this initial hold over towards green, especially if Corey's going to continue to play at A.
Aldrone going to try to come out here and start getting some presence at B. And this forward angle that's being held right now by Corey is very helpful at A side, but now the defense is going to crumble anyway at long B. But look at this, Seven slips in, only good for 1. The guard's been doing such a good job. Good shout out to Ender, who kind of brought this up. Their trading efficiency has been back to where you expect it to be this series. They are not just looking like, again, like it's the cohesiveness. I thought they looked super disjointed in some of their earlier series where they were kind of just having people isolated and they weren't able to get the trade back. Now they are. Their grouping and timing's a lot sharper, a lot more what we expect from them. And that's how come they get into this 3 versus 2, that they do have a couple of low health players out there.
Yeah, I was going to say, even though Seven only got 1, he did get damage into a number of others. It's going to feel like a missed opportunity for him, especially as he watches his teammates rotate to the wrong site.
And he doesn't have Viper's Pit now available for the guards. That makes the retake even more possible, with Jonah P and net being a little bit low. Now the heal will come back for Jonah P. Just got refreshed and he just healed himself. So that's kind of taken away some of that risk as the spike will go down.
Yeah, just so much utility here for the guard to secure this post plant, especially with the remaining players that are left here. Lockdown's going to be spent early. This will put some pressure on TSM, who are moving pretty quickly here.
Have to.
Yeah. And Zerosa's going to realize, I can't do anything from this position, so has to back away. No one's detained, which is good news, but now you have to get on your high horse and run. And the problem about this is you've now all of a sudden got Trent in a position to use his shock darts to delay this. You still got all the Killjoy utility to stop this, and yeah, it's just too much utility left for the guard to hold this post plant.
Yeah, I mean, it's not rocket science that Killjoy's still really good, you know, when it comes to these post-plant scenarios, stuff like that. It's just that Chamber was so appealing.
Yeah.
When he had the 2 trademarks, when he kind of takes away the jet nerf by having the same capability of playing one-and-done risky spots and being able to escape. Like, you still crave that, you know, to be able to put that into play, particularly defensively. But Killjoy can still bring a ton of value in the right hands, as long as you have the right supporting cast around it. And that's what the guard has found, you know, and that's where net's comfortable. And now they still have that Viper's Pit available to them in this round.
And weapon advantage. Corey looking to take away ahead quickly. Not going to be able to, so we'll rendezvous back. The Owl Drone keeps him safe from any other forward aggression from the guard, and both teams will kind of hit their respective corners and set up again.
Yeah, you know that TSM has to bite on pressure quickly with this low firepower, and so you know that you forced a lot of attention with that little feint. Now you can just backpedal, play B, you can plant, you got Viper's Pit if you want to use it here, or you can save it for next gun round, it's up to you. Nonetheless, the guard's looking to jump up to a 4-1 lead here pretty quickly.
Yeah. Should be good for it. Especially with all 5 alive and all of the other utility and weapons we've already mentioned. TSM, no reason to not give this a go, but it would be hard-pressed to do too much, especially considering how late they're going to be to even look at this plant situation. We'll see. Crazier things have happened. Valen looking for the long cross. Gets a couple of players at least shooting through the toxic screen. Or cover and slow orbs looking to dissect this post plant as best as humanly possible. Shots out from Gomon's Marshall. Corey up top does take down 1. Yeah, this is not bad from TSM. A couple of kills being collected. Actually, it's looking really good for TSM all of a sudden. Shots missing by net. Not a lot of time here, and they're actually going to get every single final kill. The only thing missing was the time to get the defuse. Otherwise, TSM would have had a thrifty.
Yeah, they do pick up a couple of free rifles as well, and they've done a lot of damage, forcing a lot of rebuying out the guard. So they'll chip away at their economy just a smidge, but there's still plenty there to rebuy for the time being. Ult still not spent, though, by the guard. Valen's been holding on to this Viper's Pit. This is probably the round he's going to want to use it in a post-plant, as long as he can stay alive to that point. Jonah P also is going to have the res available coming into this round. TSM taking a timeout. Curious what they're going to call here. I mean, they've tried a couple of different things. They've tried to be aggressive with Corey on A side. Didn't really find much with that. They tried to play up close on long B with 2 players and try to fight it out. They've lost some of those exchanges. Their retakes haven't really been there because they've usually been playing retakes from behind.
Yep.
And so it's really hard to grasp onto like one single issue that they could change. I think it's more about just kind of calming everyone down. You know, trying to just get people kind of back in the zone. Try to slow down.
There really hasn't been much to look at and say this is where we're finding success, right? I mean, we saw Corey try to get aggressive over towards A one round. That didn't work out. The triple stack defensively towards B when it came to playing a player around yellow and 2 around green. That was okay, but it was heavy trades.
Yeah, I think a lot of this is probably like, where do we want to put Corey? You know, because he's the dynamic factor.
Yeah.
Where do you want to put that tour de force at? Do you want him playing top yellow, defending long B? Do you want him playing an off angle at A, trying to get a pick and fade back? Like, that's usually what you're trying to decide defensively on this map is where do you want that sniper located? And right now, indeed, you are going to see Corey taking it up over towards long B. The guard, though, looking to put a lot of focus early at middle and A, from what we can tell.
Viper's just going to go out early. Seven's going to block mid by way of barrier orb. So, again, you've fortified every point of ingress that could possibly come your way if you're TSM. Now it just comes down to capitalizing. You got to convert here. Yeah,
you're trying to funnel them to Corey's tour de force. That's what you're doing with this utility. You know, you're blocking off tube. You're keeping your kitchen guarded. You're watching under tube push right now with 7. And then, you have Viper's Pit discouraging an A play from the guard. The guard, though, going to still try to play under 2. They're going to try to see if they can break out here. So they have to just get past 7. And Gamon, who's playing top site, instant res, yes, but they're slowing this attack down.
Gamon needs to do more than this, though. Oh, and he spams through the dark cover, and he takes down 2 with them! The offensive Viper's Pit not going to be able to do too much besides create a little bit of a setup spot, but the problem is there's nothing to set up. There's no one left. It's just Valen on his lonesome.
Yeah, that's
so Gamon finally gets traded out, but that was just brilliant execution from TSM, and Gamon does exactly what's required. I mean, the guard did everything you wanted to see them do when it comes down to how do we avoid all of the key components, but Gamon is just in himself an ultimate of his own, apparently.
Yeah, TSM just had the perfect defensive setup here. They knew that they could just kind of trust the Viper's Pit to lock down A. They had double coverage on the under 2 push with 7 and Gamon, and then they just trusted Corey to solo hold long B. He never really got threatened. So it's just kind of that single focus route of attack from the guard gets run into a crossfire on utility. And TSM were totally prepared for that. They had all the right stops for it. And now the guard's drained. Think about it. They won that round early where they had to rebuy 4 players. Or actually all 5 players had to rebuy. So
all 5 players, yep.
So now this is what they're left with.
Nothing is what you're trying to get at. They're left with nothing.
Now Nets 1 away from lockdown. So if you can get a frag, they can get into sight, there's still some hope, but
the timing through this playthrough middle is not exactly perfect. It allows them 1 elimination, but largely it's been picked up nicely by TSM. Last 2 left are Saya Player and Trent, and interesting, Len of 7 was not expecting that there were still more members on top of
he plants away from the shock dart spam spot.
Yep.
And he has a rifle in hand now. This gets interesting. He's been detected, but he's staying alive. Paranoia comes in, he's in trouble.
Counter recon comes out, and there's just nowhere for him to go. So now it's just down to Saya Player. It's the opener, the second with the sheriff. It's Corey. He's gone to the pistol, and Corey gets the duel win. Oh, but goodness,
that was a clincher.
Did that get too close?
That was a clincher. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yep,
that's what that was. But they get through it. Whew, that was that'll make you break a sweat. No matter how cold it might be in your room. Oh boy. Nice try here from side player Trent. Almost pulling something magical off here. Just not quite enough help to challenge Corey, who held his grit. To give a couple of rounds back to TSM, start closing this gap on the scoreboard. Both teams back onto a full buy here, including Corey still on that sniper. Once again playing towards long B early.
Oh, the timing from 7 looks for a peek through the owl drone. Not going to work out for him. Has to use the self-heal. And Trent will still get all the information that he was initially looking for and says that's good enough for me to try to go to the Hunter's Fury. Not going to be able to follow up.
He knows that both are there. He got both of them because of the dart, and then he catches Rossi on the Hunter's Fury. So they know that there's at least 2 here. They're going to get the kill onto Gamon. Lockdown, pushes these defenders off. They're going to get a good little post plant here. 5 on 3. Spike goes down. Hunter's Fury disrupts that. But they burnt it so early, they still have plenty of time.
Yeah. This is still going to be a tough retake in the mix here for TSM. You do have a lot of utility from Rossi, but the recon bolt gets sent and is instantly destroyed. So you've got high ground control. Corey's on the way still. And a long lurk is actually coming to the middle of the map. Resurrection, is this actually going to get off? Ned is in a position you would think to deny this, but isn't able to do too much, at least not initially. Now falls down low. He's going to get traded out. Numbers back to even. Saya player still up top. The clock favoring the guard. A long rotation from Jonah through mid-map has been denied as he comes back to assist. And Saya player right on into a slow orb is getting caught out. This is still doable. Hold on a second for TSM. It's just down to Jonah. Spamming away, doesn't get the connection. Rossi's gonna stick this. Can he get the kill on the diffuser? No, he can't! Just a bit off! And TSM will literally take it right underneath the guard's nose.
Oh, that's so brutal because with Saya player jumping in the smoke, he gets the confirmation that they have not gotten half. Not only that, but he gets a couple of frags, and he kind of keeps his team in the race, and he has that information, hey, the spike is still completely clear. You've got the time to handle it. But then he falls, and they're not able to get anything on that diffuser through the smoke spam. And so TSM has snuck their way back into a close contest here.
Wow.
Such a good attack initially as well from the guard to get on site.
Oh, this round, all gas right from the get-go. TSM a little bit caught off guard. Lamond has gotten into position to actually get behind this. I was saying maybe he could split this up and get a little bit of a mini pinch, but his shots come through that reveal his position even though he collects the first kill. Needs to do a lot more than that. He slowed in the corner and nearly gets a lineup. But in the end, it will still be numbers for the guard as they get the spike planted, just down to Sabrosa for the 1v3.
Yeah, not a whole lot he's going to be able to do here. And again, this just shows you these teams have a similar strength, and that is these explosive executes. That's what both teams pride themselves on. You know, it's just how well that they can play this fast-paced style of Valorant.
Get out of my way.
And, you know, you're seeing the guard getting entries and getting sights, but they just fend off some of these little retakes that TSM's put against them. I don't think that's what he was hoping to do there, Sabrosa.
I don't think so either.
No, I don't think so at all.
Well, time will expire on this potential 1v3 for Sabrosa. And that'll take guard up to 5-4 again.
Nope.
And here's the thing. So TSM, we've seen them just kind of, I won't say lay back. That's not exactly the connotation I'm going for here, but they've been more reserved in how they're setting up their defense. We have not seen them get really too aggressive at all, honestly. And I'm curious now with the guards showing some tempo, will TSM try to do the same?
Well, I think it's just because TSM has seen their retakes come out on top. Like they've seen that can work, and so that they don't have to risk taking early engagements if they don't feel that they're favorable for them. They can kind of just trust Corey to kind of be their early initiator if they wind up running into a sniper, and if not, they can just play retake where need be. But this round's going to be a lot tougher when you have a guy on a Frenzy and a Spectre, and Corey no longer with the sniper at his disposal. Looking to get aggressive here towards middle with an owl drone and a push down tube. Has been spotted, however.
A lot of the point of contacts here for the guards' offense have also been denied. Sentry turret, owl drone, both deleted. TSM showing some pressure early through green. That's going to force the guard to spend even more utility to try to clear this. Yeah, Sam's going to get a good read here. Slow Orb's going to slow this down pretty considerably, and TSM has got a really solid idea on where this hit's coming from, and they're using it pretty nicely, although Corey, who thought maybe could have been the linchpin for a multitude of kills, only gets one, and the trades favor the guard.
Yeah, come on for a second there. You thought he might be able to pull out a multi-frag, and that would change the pace of the round, but the res comes out from the guard. They had the 4-on-2. Lockdown comes into play. Rossi trying to play the surprise card, but is eventually kind of forced back into this corner. Gets the spike down, however, and finds a second. And this is getting scary. The guard has not had a stress-free win in a while.
No.
And they may not get this one. It depends on Sub Rosa.
Welcome to my world.
Vipers will make things a little bit more difficult. Sabrosa going to use his own Poison Cloud to gain some separation vision-wise. Going to get involved with this Nano Swarm out, though. Takes Sabrosa down to critical HP. Needs to get this Decay off first before he can do much more else. Valen on the backside of Yellow will be his first likely point of contact if he continues on this route. And yeah, sure will be.
I tell you what, though, man, the guard has had a couple of supreme positions that have crumbled and have almost cost them. But they're able to just kind of manage it, right? And now they finally get their big break, where TSM can't really afford much. And this might be finally the catalyst for having that stress-free win that they really need. I feel like they feel comfortable. They've been scrambling to finish off some of these rounds. TSM's done a great job, you know, poking and prodding and getting a couple of little cool retakes here and there as well as some big plays. But this is where they could finally catch up, you'd think.
Well, TSM was able to find all 5 kills and
oh boy,
just like this. And oh my, indeed!
What a cool trap!
Yeah, yeah.
What a beautiful
Nice
trap
try.
of Snake Bite and Slow Orb. My goodness.
And Shock Dart for that matter.
Yep, just everything. Oh, Rossi though, getting a couple. Jonah P able to trade it back, and finally, still lost a couple of players though, so still not as clean as you'd hope. But hey, definitely never felt like they were, you know, gonna lose that round at least.
No. So last round in.
Yes, sir.
This is a big one here. TSM would. I hate to say that you have to win this, but you don't want to go down 4-8 going onto an offensive half. So this is going to be an important round for TSM, I think, in a lot of regards. And they've got a lot of tools to play with. That's the biggest thing about it. You've got the ability to search out info with from the shadows. You've got the tour. You've got the hunters. You're close to a Viper's Pit.
Especially considering that, like, the guard seemingly never gets less than, like, 7 rounds on defense.
Yeah, it's true.
Like, they have been so, like, in the high 60% range win rate defensively on this map. So, yeah, you need to give yourself that 5th round to at least keep it close.
Side player with knives once again went up towards tube, didn't see too much. Corey's watching for a cross. So this is a unique position for him. Has not seen him in this spot yet, and he may actually get a couple of players on this cross here.
Yeah, that
Unless
could
they
be
decide
big.
to come up through mid. This is everything.
Yeah, this could be so huge. They're gonna start swinging out. He's able to catch it. Saya player trying to come out with Blade Storm. Able to catch his frag and get away. That's something that TSM's really been missing, is him getting opening picks. They haven't had a lot of early advantages, it feels like. They've been traded right back, usually, as the guard is able to start making their push under. Corey slinging around these routes, trying to get impact more out of this tour de force. Misses, though, and that's such a big miss. As Valen gets the frag, net slipping in behind enemy lines. Perhaps Yellow goes down. I mean, it's all
Not
crumbling.
Good. It's not good, Dust. It's not
not.
good at all.
They have
It's
no
not
idea.
good at all. Hunter's Fury out for Rossi. He knows he's got to watch his back, too, though. That's the problem. He actually can't even use the 3rd dart. 7 up top looking to challenge quickly, but gets revealed by the recon bolt.
Boy.
That will be about it. Missed opportunities in the last round here for TSM, and well, we can just say it the way it should be. Missed shots.
It was
TSM.
one missed shot and one big flank from net, and that combo was enough to give Guard a massive lead. We'll see if they can capitalize in 2 of the series, get their first win after a short break.
Welcome back, everybody. Good news for the Guard as they find themselves up 4 in 8-4 half. Very convincing one, to say the least, even though the rounds themselves are actually very, very narrow here, Dust. It's on to TSM. Have to come out and, well, it would be nice to win the pistol here to get yourself on to winning ways.
Yeah, they need this.
Yeah.
That's my analysis, buddy. That's what I got.
So I paid the big bucks.
Do they? I'm happy with it.
I'm glad you're happy. TSM, oh, they get the blind off on the Saya player. Here come all of the walls. This is what Ender was talking about when it comes to just delay strategy in the build for this guard defense. And oh boy, it is just, I don't want to call it a line in the sand. That is the Berlin Wall of walls right there. No one could step through, and the guard will take a 5-4 advantage after the first blood gets collected.
Not the start that TSM were hoping for here, as they're still trying to see if they can brute force their way into this A site. Corey gets a important frag, and the second one to boot. That could be it. That could be the change of pace they needed to bully their way into this. But are they going to back off? That's my question. They start to feint a retreat to try to force a defense to maybe scramble a bit more towards middle. And now they're going to re-hit this A site with really only Valen left to defend.
Well, the spike is going to be gifted away as the plant will come through. Valen is needed to play his lifelong flank, possibly coming up from net, but then reconsiders. So it's going to have to be a 3-man retake from the front. TSM spreading the box just a touch here around B. Players up close and still a couple of clutch positions on the backside. Here comes the retake, though, very quickly. Net able to take down 1, and in the corner, 7. Good for the response. Down to a 2v2 we go. Rossi nearly caught out with utility and will get caught out with utility. So it's just down to Sabrosa. Spike being toggled, and there's the help coming out, and the guard will retake 3v4. How?
That's tough. That is tough if you're a TSM fan. You feel like you should be getting that one. When Corey gets those 2 kills, they slow it down. They force the defense to kind of break apart. Gives them a comfortable spike play on A site with barrier for cover. You figure, all right, this is their chance. It's right here. Corey, big work with the headhunter. But they just can't stop Net and Co, who just push this back hall area, and this should just never work. This should just never happen. But Valen and Net get it done, and the guard just looked fired up, man.
Yeah. Man. Rossi
We've been waiting to see this.
So tough. Recon bolt out. You also heard the shrouded step. That was Gamond who made the move over to the top side of green. Jonah heard this, is very aware, but does not want to take the fight. Feeling a little bit soft in how many numbers are here defensively, which would have been the right call because it is a heavy stack for TSM.
He'll just take the read and walk back. That's smart. He can drop the barrier orb as well to slow down this progression onto site. He's now getting support as well from his teammates. There's a little bit of chip damage there, but that's a nice entry from 7 onto his support system. Valen now gone. Now Jonah P has to back up, concede his barrier, concede the man advantage. Spike will go down, but Net looking to maybe disrupt that there with the Nano Swarm.
And you also still have some long utility from Trent that could come in. Shock Dart was the first. Recon Bolt still being held. So is the Owl Drone. There's the Recon out.
Yep.
That will actually reveal so much information.
Yep.
That, yeah, indeed, TSM are still here. And do they call for Sai to rotate?
Yeah, that's the big question. They left Sai to guard A solo for a bit. He's also kind of watching the mid to A push. So they're just kind of trusting him to kind of do his thing while they just hold this 3-man B defense, which, with the firepower they have, could be enough. Alarm bot, or Nano Swarm, excuse me, gets triggered. They try to run through it anyway to get a plant going.
Timing here for Trent is going to be everything. It's an even exchange. Pinstripe goes the kill feed. 3v2 numbers with TSM, but the clock is not in their favor. They've collected the spike. Trent comes forward, trying to stop the plant from even coming through in the first place. It takes down all 4. Oh, goodness.
Oh, boy. There's Trent. There he is. Welcome back, buddy. The clutches are back from the man himself.
You failed. Now flee.
That was definitely a scary situation there for just a moment. But Trent just played those timings so well, and that's what he was known for, man. Just having that intuition on when to peek, who to fight first. And just having that confidence. And I think that's something that maybe he got kind of shaken of with the trip over to Iceland. You know, that can kind of rattle a player, can kind of make them feel a little bit more uncomfortable, maybe could doubt themselves in those situations. But now, you know, starting to feel it again, starting to feel in his place, and that's a big one.
A gift.
That's Hunter's Fury earned in 2 rounds, by the way.
Yeah. Bonus here for the guard.
Out there.
TSM's got to win this. No doubt about it.
Have to. It needs to be clean, too.
Yep.
You can't let the guard chip away at your repurchases here. You've got to start building a bank while also building a comeback.
That's a good point. TSM looking like they're going to find the gap in the defense here at long B, at least, as there are a lot of presence early from the guard at A to fight up front. They're going to keep Saya player in this aggressive angle. But they're still not really rotating anyone just yet. But information now being gained by Net that it is indeed a long B pressure.
Yeah. I mean, this has to be a Hunter's Fury defense of the initial plant.
I think that's what they're banking on. That's why they're not rotating too heavy. They're letting Net just continuously get information but not overcommit for it, and they can play retake if they need to. But actually,
Spike's going down. Hunter's Fury has not been channeled yet, so it's just going to be a quick challenge of the post-plant setup. And if you can funnel them back towards yellow, Well, I think we're all envisioning what a Hunter Shuri can do in the backside position, and Gamons is not going to give him an opportunity. First 2 kills quickly collected. There is a response, but it's a small one in the scheme of things as we get to a 4v2. Saya player in the back, scouted out. Still finds one with the Guardian. Dashing away. 7 will be there to make sure no further antics will likely happen. Although Jonah actually takes another. Okay, so this has not been clean at all. Hold on a second. I mean, once again, there's not going to be a lot of time here, but goodness, had the guard made this as punishing as possible.
Literally. Everyone fades. Everyone must rebuy. And that's going to keep TSM's economy very much in check. The guard were prepared for that. That was their bonus. They didn't invest. They were ready for this. Look at this. Subros has to come in with the Spectre.
Yeah.
I mean, this is so damaging. It may not be the win, but it is going to have some lasting impact, that's for sure. Look at this. Spectre and Bulldog. Now, there is Tour de Force for Corey, so, you know, at least they have that going for them. Subrosa also is going to have an ult available for post-plant.
Let's play.
I don't think anyone who was watching expected that to be the outcome in a 2v4.
I almost wonder what could have happened if they would have invested Hunter's Fury to disrupt the plant while that flank from Saya player was coming in. Maybe could even pulled it off, but I can understand wanting to be a little bit restrained on spending that when you know how much value you could have in the opening gun round.
Well, Jonah's committed here.
Mm-hmm.
And depending on how long he fancies a stay.
Well, not much longer after that.
Full numbers, yeah. I'm good.
I can answer that question for you. It's a resounding, I'm going to get the heck out of here. As he's going to have Valen join him over at yellow, put that Viper utility down, try to slow TSM down just a bit. TSM, though, looking to keep prying forward with the Paranoia and the Recon Vault. They found out Jonah P. They're looking to put the pressure on him here over towards yellow position.
Snake bites. Okay. I was going to say, Corey, he misses that and kills the teammate because of it. That would have been bad news bears, but he's able to get the scope back up very quickly, still collect elimination. Viper's picked down. Valen looking to challenge quickly. Taking a lot of decay. Oh, careful. Even your teammates, Hunter's Furies, can finish you off. And TSM are finding quick, successive kills. Trent able to get one. Saya player quickly on the flank. 7 here to try to deny it and not going to be able to do too much with this. So now the pinch has to come through between Saya and Trent. This will be another 2v4 situation. They get good information onto Corey, who offers himself up. That'll be an easy kill. Tailwind now recharge, right-clicking away. Nearly an opportunity, but TSM numbers will sustain.
Yeah, when Saya player gets that kill on Corey at yellow, you figure if he somehow catches Subrosa coming out the ult, all of a sudden that could be a problem, but Subrosa able to win that fight against Saya player, and aren't really able to see Trent be able to find space to get much done. So that's going to put the guard on the back foot here, just some sheriffs to play. So TSM kind of escaping the economic pressure for now. Able to come into this one. This is their opportunity to kind of build up some bank and start chipping away at the lead that the guard has built up. We are going to see them looking to get a little bit heavy-handed at A here pretty early, but also have some mid-pressure.
Similar look at that trap over towards A. Does find some chip damage, but largely everyone is fine. And look how far forward Valen's gotten.
Yeah, I mean, he's just trying to take this big risk so they can put a 4-man A defense in place. And it's going to pay off as far as position goes, but can they actually get the firepower out there? Oh, yes, that immediate catch on the Saya player, but nice response from Jonah P. The res and, yeah.
And this is TSM doing exactly what they need to do. Yep, and clean. We'll just drop one. The res was used as you'd mentioned, but largely speaking, TSM avoid the potential claustrophobia around the A site. And they bring this back to within 3. Still not a healthy, super healthy buy. You've got Rossi still on a Bulldog, but you win this round, you're dancing.
Yeah, you could force the guard onto a save yet again. You could really start closing the gap on the scoreboard. So yeah, this could be a nice little shift in momentum, so to speak, if TSM can get this one going. Again, TSM had that same strength as the guard. Those really finite, rapid pace attacks. They're very decisive, and they have the skill to trade. But the guard, it looked like, you know, new life has been breathed into them. this
Yeah,
week
for
compared
sure.
to the start of the stage. Like, they look like they're back on track. Kind of see the confidence there. You can see the playmaking's back. They don't look disjointed anymore like they did the first couple of weeks. They seem to, you know, have been sharpened again. So, with them already having a 3-round lead and knowing the guards' history defensively on this map, their comfort to play that side, they're still very much a front runner right now. But TSM taking a timeout, trying to talk things through. They're certainly no strangers to having some good attacking sides. We saw it against FaZe in the open qualifiers. We saw it against Luminosity in the same qualifier.
I would say this for TSM is all about how do we want to try to potentially get an easy entry against the full force of the guard here. Especially if you can assume that Saya player will be sniping. Can you just take that out of the equation immediately? Viper's going to be called for Valorant. That's going to be used over towards A. So very similar in regards to what we had seen on the opposite side, where Viper's will block one side. You've got good utility in mid. You're trying to force everything over to Saya player. But
yeah, the difference is TSM wants to test this Viper's pit.
Yep.
They want to call that shot. Okay, if you're going to trust in this to be your solo A defense, let's see if we can catch you doing that. As Valen drops the poison orb, is just trying to play safe here on the pipe. Trent is going to get the read with that owl drone. That's so big, and I like that Valen didn't commit the chase. He doesn't want to give up his position. But now, TSM knows that they have support. Oh, they ult around the Viper's pit.
Yep. Come on, we'll get through this. That actually flushes Valen completely away, so the Viper's pit does get mitigated completely. Trent holding close.
What?
Takes the first, no problem. Almost too easy, you would start to wonder. Lockdown out, immediately countered by the Hunter's Fury. Last start from Rossi, not going to connect it to too much. The guard with numbers. Jonah P already onto the defuse, and Nat is pushing forward to gatekeep this. Oh my goodness, it's a blunder! And no one will dissuade Jonah from sticking. What a retake!
What a prime gaming flawless that is. My goodness. It's like the guard made the right call every step of the way. You know, Valen gets his support from Trent when he needs it. They don't overcommit off the dart. They use the lockdown, the burn Hunter's Fury to make their pathing a little bit easier when they start walking into sight for the retake itself. They catch Gamon, kind of making a blunder in my opinion, dropping down there. Kind of just gave a freebie over. And then they just mow the opposition down, left, right, and center. TSM never got comfortable in that round.
The thing about it was the execute was, you could argue, pretty flawless.
It was a good use of the ult.
You wanted.
Yeah, it was a good use of the ult. It's just Gamon kind of... That was just weird how he just had to drop down like that. I mean, just leave himself so exposed. Such an easy pickup for the guard to get the opening strike.
Unreal.
And this is it for TSM. All their credits are into this. If this doesn't work, they're, you know, obviously going to buy what they can, but it's going to be far less than this. This has to pan out.
Paranoia Owl Drone coming through. TSM not fully committed to this yet, but they will get the spike up. 7 will barrier orb off the top. Shock darts in. None of that is going to connect. So the post-plant setup is now where it all rests on for TSM. Gomon playing a little bit more reserved this time. Backside of 410. You've got players mid-map in Sabrosa, and the guard is looking to full-fledged hit this dust from the front.
Yeah, they're all coming in, but TSM have the shooting line ready to pop off. The res comes in, though, but here comes Sabrosa on that flank, but he gets caught by Saya player. Saya with another as well, gets it back into a 2 versus 2, no way.
This is still doable. Trent has still full HP. He's zoning forward. Trent zoning forward. He sees the other. Rossi on the corner. Saya player's holding. Oh my goodness. Saya player and Trent just 2v5 TSM.
Oh my goodness. I can't believe it. TSM had such a great take. They had a way to fall back. They had the numbers in post play. You feel like they had superior positioning as well. But somehow Trent and Saya player pay with forward. That kill's so huge. Catching Sabrosa. Immediate catch on the Gamond as well. And then Trent, the ever clutch himself, pulls out another one. And you feel like the writing's on the wall at this point.
Has to be.
The guard has kept their tournament lives alive, most likely, as long as they can put the finishing touches on this. Again, I couldn't tell you how devastating 0-3 would have been for this team after winning it all in the region last time around. They would be back in contention if they can finish the series.
Oh, and Saya players feeling the hot hand. lurking. 3 members up through mid, though. Oh, but Ned has gotten a pretty solid read on this. Saya player does get out of dodge. Trent here to help over, and oh boy, yeah, it's not looking very good.
Oh!
Paranoia's not going to do too much. Nearsighted in close
No
quarters
way.
is whatever.
Remaining.
And Valen was also hiding, playing a little bit more of a reserved location, and that's going to turn it to a Corey 1v3.
What fine-tuned team play there, man. To catch that back line push through kitchen. A little bit of that old the guard flair coming right back at you after a bit of a lull period. And they get their dub. They get a much-needed win here.
It's just, look, Doug and Bach and Ender are going to talk